So when you check it out, can machine compete with machine?
The farming section is nearly completely wiped out.
Anything that led to the more self-reliance on our resources was strongly discouraged because of this emerging ideology, which we now call globalization.
My name is Tom Lipitsky. I'm with the United States Potato Board, and we represent about 6,000 potato producers in the United States. One of the markets which we found to be of very much interest is right here in Jamaica.
Get you up here, Mr. Harrison. There we go. Okay. Everybody say potato. Jamaican.
We had offers from Washington from some guys, a group of guys. We asked them what they wanted to buy from us, and there wasn't anything that they could buy from us. They just wanted to sell us potato seeds. We're not short of potato seeds. That's not our problem.
I'll give you a joke. You talk about get goods in the United States. I signed a contract to produce honeydew melon and cherry tomato. And you know what happened? Everything I send to the package, they turn it down, say it not reach the standard. They say don't package good. The size that we have is not meshing with their size. And the system went on so rotten with me that you know what I did? Discarded total.
NAFTA or whatever they call them, a free enterprise. They're not free, they flow like the Mississippi. It flows in one direction into the Gulf of Mexico. It never goes back up the hill. And whereas the Gulf of Mexico can absorb it, Jamaica cannot absorb the flow from Europe and from North America, all coming in on us. This is our country, our turf. Give us back our market. Don't try to force your idea on us.
But now we are finding that the thieves become more desperate.
Guys, this is our turf. This is our market. This is our turf. This is our market. Don't try and force your ideas on us. Excuse me. That has always been, that has always been the drive. That was the dream that that Homie Barber spoke of when she was talking about Frantz Fanon in terms of how he wrote Wretched of the Earth. Where in 1955, this image, this picture, where all these countries in the Bandung Conference, this non-aligned countries came together, envisioned countries that was charting their own courses. You know, that is what true independence is. That's the real dream of independence. That's what the way our dream. This is our place. Give us our turf. Instead, they are forcing their ideas on us. That's the idea. Forcing their ideas on us. That has always been the case. The idea of penetration. The idea of penetration. The more open you are, then it's easy for penetration. But the thing is, the Caribbean people, they signed into this an international agreement for globalization to happen, and then instead of that is happening, it wasn't happening, because while Jamaica now is more open and vulnerable, while Trinidad and Barbados probably not as they became, Trinidad did, Barbados not as much, but most of these countries became open. Global South countries, Caribbean countries, became largely open, became very open, and as a result of their openness, they became very vulnerable and penetratable. And now goods flowing into the Caribbean from the Europe, and from all over, from NAFTA, North America Free Trade Agreement. How can these countries in the Caribbean, small countries, deal with this? For, okay, fine. They're supposed to be. They they're supposed to be part of. They're supposed to be open and part of this new global thrust, this new global initiative of globalization, economic trade, partnership. This new global thrust of globalization did not help the Caribbean in a sense because, fine, the thing is, you have to put things into perspective. Where is the Caribbean starting from? They're just getting independence. They're a small, vulnerable country. They cannot compete. The Caribbean cannot sign into rules, the same rules that these post-industrial countries and bigger countries are signing into. They cannot sign agreements. They cannot lock themselves into agreement that promote a level playing field, because at the end of the day, the field is not level because they are starting from behind. They don't have the money. They don't have the capital intensive capabilities. And the third thing is that they have become, they are so conservative in their religiosity that they are abiding to these rules, while the US, Canada, and these other countries are not. Because what did this gentleman say? Fine, we signed an agreement to be part of the world trade, to be part of this global economy. Okay, we remove barriers to trade so that people can now come in. But it wasn't supposed to happen, or it happened. Now they are flooding the Jamaican market. Now the Caribbean markets. The Caribbean government had signed agreements to play by the rules and to get fundings to help their fledgling economies, and they were tied to conditions that says they cannot subsidize their farmers, as Michael Manley was saying. They cannot support their economies in the ways that they want to support them. They have to lend money to their farmers at 23% in the 1970s. Ridiculous. 23% interest rates. Now, the US and the post-industrial countries were not doing the same thing in their countries. They weren't lending at 20. If anything, they were giving the money they were giving them the money for free. They were investing in their their farmers, their manufacturers, in their industries. But then turn around and tell Caribbean countries, if you do that, you're not playing by the rules. That's what we talk about neoliberal globalization, a kind of a bureaucratic phenomenon, or this Washington consensus, or this Pharisaicalism, all one and the same thing. Open up the economy, flood your economy with their goods, with their services, ultimately killing the local markets. And now you have a Caribbean with goods and services that's from overseas, which has helped to kill the economy, which is quite interesting. But this guy, very good definition of what has happened in Jamaica.